Citizion's History Series. Part 2. On January 1946, Citizion's team had an update meeting in order to discuss car design progress, engineering, factories, and marketing.
So to start off this meeting, Tim, is the design complete?
Yes, including the aesthetics. Wow.
That's really cool. You have outdone yourself, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Tim, I want you now to move on to engineering.
Okay, Rob.
Tim, remember we only have $1 million, including the factories, so your engineering costs must be well below that.
All right. If I make sure to minimize the financial slider, then that should be achievable.
Nate, I want you to work out what factories we will need to produce the CX100. Make sure to discuss the cost with Tim so it matches our budget.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, I want you to begin working on the sales and marketing campaigns for the CX100. Only do it for one demographic because we are very limited on capacity.
No problem, Rob. I'm on it.
All right, that concludes the meeting for today. Thank you, everyone. Right, Tim, what do you have to show us?
Normally we have the process slider up to max to maximize the margins.
It looks like Tim forgot which way the slider goes.
I prioritized reliability because we need desirability more than anything else.
Okay.
I made the tooling as low as possible but not zero because they do not need much production volume currently.
It's good that the final engineering price is $336,000. That is well within our budget.
Will 110% familiarity be enough?
It isn't all that important, as we don't require major tech to make the CX100.
All right.
All right, it sounds like engineering is ready to go. Right, Nate, what do you have to show us for the factories? Nate, why did you choose the sun as the factory's location?
Nate, we are making cars, not molding panels.
That's good thinking ahead, Nate. Choosing a small plot allows us to upgrade to a small factory in the future.
Nate, why do you have 2 micro-factories?
Well, a small factory currently is too expensive. Right. However, a micro-factory won't meet predicted demand, so why not have 2?
You do have a point. Where in Fruinia will these factories be located?
There are some old warehouses in Costa Guela we can buy out.
Right, do you have any ideas? Nate, for the engine factories?
Well, we will have to outsource. That's all we can afford.
So Nate and Tim, did you discuss about the costings?
Yes, and we have a slight issue.
The cost for outsourcing the engine was more expensive than expected, so the total cost for everything is over $1 million.
Is there no way of lowering something?
Sadly not.
All right, we might just have to take out a marginally bigger loan. It will hurt our profits, but if the CX100 is good enough, we should be okay.
All right, I guess we will have to wing it. So, Jeff, what do you have to show us?
I propose we market the CX100 as being very dependable. This is what delivery buyers want. They don't want their vehicles breaking down in the middle of a trip.
That sounds like a valid argument. But how are you going to prove it to the public in a marketing campaign?
We will market the CX100 as come and get your van today and help build up Fruinia's infrastructure. It has a reinforced chassis and engine, so even under full load, it will not break.
Okay, that's too long, and also, we will need that in language the average human will understand.
So mean. Instead, we will market the CX100 as the van for the people of Fruinia. Even under full load, the engine will not break.
That sounds okay, but...
It's good enough. We are running out of time, folks, so I will have to say sales is ready to go. This concludes today's meeting. Thank you, everyone.
On April 1946, the CX100 was officially released to the public. So, did Citizion go bankrupt? No way. They survived. Simon worked out that the CX100 was covering the production costs and the loan. Over the next month, there was positive feedback in the management department, where Pete was receiving an increase in calls from new businesses wanting a van, resulting in increased production and greater profits. 8 months later, Nate realized that the factory's capacity was almost being met and that the car price needed to be raised in order to compensate. He made a call with the factory's only telephone to Citizion's only telephone, in which Rob answered.
Hello, Nate.
Hello, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm doing the usual paperwork for Citizion.
Okay. I am issuing an urgent modification to the car's price. Our factory capacity is reaching its limit.
Okay, Nate, understood. I will go and find Jeff after I'm done with this last batch.
Awesome. All right, goodbye.
Bye, so.
After the batch, a few hours later, Rob went over to Jeff to discuss price raises. After the discussion, Jeff increased the price of the car by $500. This directly increased Citizion's monthly profits to $100,000 by the start of 1947. Citizion's growth would remain stable for the next 2 years. By the end of 1948, Simon worked out that Citizion had a company valuation of $1 million and has made $1.68 million in profits since the CX100 was released. In January 1949, Citizion began a facelift for the CX100. Tim did not change much for car itself, but in engineering there was much to discuss. For one, Simon mentioned that there was more money available now, so Tim could raise the funding slider. This allowed the process slider to be maxed out in order to max out the margins. The rest of the points were put into minor improvements in tooling, reliability and pressure. For the factories, Nate made a call to upgrade the first plot to a Tiny 2 because currently Jeff was having to raise the price of the CX100 by too much to stop the current factories from being overloaded from ever-increasing demand. The facelift itself proved to be very costly at $3.71 million. But Simon was confident that with the company's valuation, he could get a loan which would fully pay for it. The monthly costs for this loan are only $40,000, which would be paid off easily by increased demand. The facelift for CX100 took 2 full years until it entered production. When it finally went into production by the end of 1950, Simon worked out that Citizion's profits rose to $300,000 a month. By the end of 1951, Citizion had $3.8 million in the bank and a valuation of $3 million. In January 1952, Rob arranged a meeting for the CX100 second facelift.
All right, guys, we now have enough money and factory capacity to add an extra trim to the lineup. What should it be?
Is it the time we branch into family?
Unfortunately, no. We can only build utility-based vehicles competitively with coil suspension.
Well, the utility demographic itself is quite popular at the moment.
Well, that does make sense. The roads around this part of Fruinia are shit.
Agreed.
All right, that is settled. Tim, now you are free to do your magic with the design.
Okay.
That is it for today's meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching. Part 3 will come eventually.